Welcome back to Big Brisk TV, and on this episode I'm going to talk a little bit more about wheels and tires and what you can do with the Blackout short course truck chassis. I have two of these trucks. This one was the one that was brand new in the box that I had bought for my son. Turned out he didn't want it. It sat in the box brand new for about 4 years. So it originally came with these wheels and tires, which are fine. They put these on pretty much all of their truck platforms. These came on my the Truggy, the Redcat Piranha TR10, and I switched those out. You can see that in the previous video. I'll put the link in the description. But you know, there's nothing wrong with this wheel and tire combination. They're really good wheels and tires. They have good grip. They perform well. They're not too squishy. But I thought I wanted a little pop of color with this truck. I really like this. This body, you know, the whole thing. It has the old Redcat logo. I've had this truck for 7-8 years maybe now, and so yeah, it performs really well. This is the brush model. They have a brushless version too, but I don't need that much speed. I mean, I'm not out in competitions or racing or anything like that with it. But I showed this because in that very first video that I shot with my RC cars, I showed that I had two of these. I had this one, which sat in the box, like I said, and then I had this one. This is the body, and I showed it's kind of beat up, you know, it's got the tar on it and whatnot. And so I broke the chassis bad. I mean, I broke the steering knuckles, I broke control arms, I broke tie rods, almost everything. In that video, I said I broke everything, and I showed it. I may put a clip or something in there with this video, but that truck was sitting off in the box. And once I got done with the Volkswagen and then the Truggy, the TR10, which I'll show all of those in a little bit. Once I got done with those, I started thinking about the chassis for this, and I said, hey, it's got good electronics in it, so let me go rip those electronics out. Then I got the truck, and then I said, hey, let me try to crazy glue these parts back together. They're all plastic. Long story short, the parts went back together well. I mean, with Redcat, I didn't realize this. I mean, I noticed it before, but I didn't realize. But for instance, here on these hub carriers, or steering knuckle assemblies if you want, you can see the rear tie rod is connected to a link in there. And you see where it's connected here? Well, there's another one empty on the opposite side. And so when you break these off, you can take this assembly out, the steering knuckle or the hub carrier, and flip it around. And so that's what I did. I had broke this one, and then on the front, I had broke a control arm. I had an extra control arm in my parts bag or box, my trusty box of RC parts. And so I got busy and I was able to put the chassis back together on the blue one. And so I went out looking for a body. Now I bought a body. It came, they said I wasn't home, which I was. Anyway, it's sitting at the post office. It's a regular, a generic truck body, not licensed. And I decided, what could I do? So in the spirit of the way that I built the BMW E30, because I had 4 BMWs coming up, and then I did the Volkswagen because I had 4 Volkswagens coming up, I thought, what about trucks? And so I had 2 Range Rovers, the P38 Range Rovers. And I almost had the Range Rover Classic long wheelbase in Beluga Black. And I started thinking, I wonder if I could get a Range Rover body for this, you know? And so with the Redcat cars, you have to make sure that you don't search Redcat body. Whatever model you have, whether it's the Blackout SC or the Lightning, you have to go by measurement. So with the cars, I went 200 millimeters. I went 190 with the Volkswagen, and you saw the shenanigans that happened with me trying to get that fitted in. But for the truck, seeing that I knew that with the cars, I said, let me search for the wheelbase, the height, the width, and you know, everything that they offer out there for a short course truck is going to be leaning towards something Arma or Traxxas, you know, something like that. So I went with this. Boom. Now, this thing is big. I'm gonna have to make some room here. This is the classic 1981 Land Rover Range Rover by Carisma. This the body kit, not the chassis. This is still the Redcat chassis. I'll show it on this side. You can see the caution hot motor. This is the same chassis from the Blackout SC. And I like the fact that it had these mud flaps. This is what made me think about the Range Rover. The classic Range Rover had these mud flaps. So I just left that on there. And these body kits are for real legit. I mean, the bumpers are ABS plastic, and they screw in. Front and rear, the grill, the light buckets, everything. I mean, I love this. This thing came with side mirrors, or as they would say, wing mirrors. It came with wipers. I mean, it's fully legit. These are plastic lenses all in here. And so the sticker kit even is nice. I was gonna paint, I masked it off to paint the trim. These Range Rovers have floating roofs, so it's painted on the body, then painted on the roof, and then all of this section here is black all the way around, so it appears that the roof is floating. And so I was gonna paint this black, but it came with this window tint decal kit, which went on really nice. I mean, there's minimal bubbling in it. You can see some bubbling around the joints, but it's not so bad. I mean, these things, RC cars, are not made for macro shots by any means. But hey, I had to do some gymnastics to get it mounted on this chassis. But look, I can lift this thing up with the magnets on. These magnets are really strong, but if I pop it off, you can see I have it wired up. I may have to come out a little bit more. Let's see. So I got another one of these ribbon wiring lighting kits, the LED light kits. And so, boom, I got it all wired up. And one thing that I would say, get yourself some real curved scissors for Lexan. This is the Tamiya brand, but these were pretty cheap. But get some curved scissors, because it made trimming out these wheel wells so much easier, and I got a lot less stuff that I need to trim off by running the tires. But you see, I got the light kit hooked up fully. I can't show you the light buckets that this came with, but they're legit. Actually, the LEDs just plug right into these lights. In the back, there's a built-in bucket that goes on the outside, so I had to cut through the body here. But everything else screws in. The screws are pretty much like this. It has these brackets. First I thought these was door handles or something. When the kit came, I didn't know what it was. But I just have it taped up, you know, so that the water won't, you know, bother the wires. And then this light kit, it says it's a 12 or 14 LED light kit, but it actually comes with 16 LEDs. And so I'll actually, let me plug it in and I'll show you. But before I do that, back to the chassis. So you see, this is a Blackout SC chassis. I got these wheels. The original Range Rover, you had an option. You had an option for 5-spoke wheels, or you had the 3-spoke wheels. So obviously I wasn't gonna find the 3-spoke, so I got these. You may see some glue residue. I had to glue these tires on, but you know, that's neither here nor there. I went with black. I was gonna paint these, the centers, the 5 spokes, to match the body. I still could do that. I have a little bit of paint left, but I think I like it black. And this is not a crawler, obviously. This was a short course chassis, so I'm not gonna have the ground clearance that a crawler would have. But hey, it's something fun to do. These chassis are really sturdy. One of the other parts that I broke off was this front bumper / skid plate. So I got some, in Big Briz fashion, some screws I found in my kit and just screwed it back in. But it's pretty good. And then I had to jerry rig up these mounts to mount the body here. I had some extra body posts So I got the body posts, and then I got these mounts which I had to bend. They come like L. These are L brackets. These magnets, these kits with these L brackets, the magnets that come with them are stronger than the other magnets that I use for my on-road cars. But they slid in here pretty nicely, and this is adjustable up and down. I have it at the lowest position at this point in the front. The rears could come down a little bit more, and then I have more adjustment here and I just have it held in with a gang of body pins, but you know, it works. And yeah, so let me get this thing plugged in and show you how the light works. It would help if I had the remote, right? Let me go grab the remote. So because I have two of these, I wrote Range Rover on the bottom of this one. And well, let's get it plugged in first. So again, with this light kit, I'll put a link in the description. I love the fact that it has this ribbon, so just one, and then you just plug this into the car. You could route the wires. The rear ribbons, it had a fourth light that was white, a white bulb LED. So what I did was I rerouted it. I pulled it off the ribbon, rerouted it to the front, and I'll show you what I did with that in a second. So just get it plugged in here. So it's opposite, black on this side, black on the opposite side, plugged in. And then give it some power. Just turn it this way. Give it some power. Oh, I got the buckets taped up so you can't see it. All right, I'll turn it this way. I mean, instead of filming the whole process, I figured I'll just come and show you guys how it looks. So I'm about to blind you guys in a second. So here you go. Boom. Got the lights. It's really nice. A nice light kit. And like I said, they're flashing because the remote isn't on. And then the rears. So let me not mark up my table anymore. Let me just get this on. And it just, I mean, these magnets, like I said, they're really strong. You could lift, this truck is pretty heavy, and I could lift the whole thing up. The one thing that I don't have to complete this is the fender flare kit. I ordered the fender flare kit because the wheels, they stick out so much. But because I have this in, you know, off-road monster truck style, I'm gonna lower the rear of this a little bit. But if I turn on the remote, there you have it. You have the headlights, fog lamps, right? You got your turns. And then on the Range Rover, it has these running lights on the sides, like that. So, running lights, your turns. And then in the rear, the tail lights on a lot of European cars are really tiny. So you got your brake. I mean, your running tail lamps, your brake, and your reverse, and then your turns. So overall, I mean, this thing is really nice. I mean, at this angle, it may look a little egregious. the stance on it. Let me see if I can get a better angle here. All right. Still looks egregious. Yeah, so I'm really digging this thing. I mean, the way it came out, I mean, it could be more scale in the fact that, you know, I could have more ground clearance under here, but I don't care about that. I don't really go crawling much, which probably would be more up my alley. But, you know, roof crawling doesn't count. But I'm gonna just look to get those fender flares in, and then this one will be pretty much done. I'm gonna maybe adjust the height a little bit. I tried adjusting the shocks. I could get a little bit more ground clearance with the shock adjustments here, but it just makes them a lot stiffer. So, I mean, I'm not gonna get the approach angle that I would need, or the clearance really under here that I would need. Because if you look at a regular, a real vehicle, they don't have that sort of clearance. And when you do a lift kit on your trucks, it lifts the wheels and it lifts the entire chassis up. Whereas with these, you have a limited amount of lift that you can do before, you have to start changing stuff out. So, hey, I always wanted a Range Rover body, so I got one. I didn't even know this was an option. I mean, I painted it this cool green. I forgot the official green for the Range Rover, but this is the 1981 model. I mean, it looks a lot more like the 1995 model when they were switching over to the P38. But I looked up an 81 model, and it looks pretty similar. I mean, the body's spot on. The placement of the rear vents for when you slam the doors or whatever has a vent here in the back, to prevent that. Doesn't have a rusty tailgate, the party lift gate and whatever. And, I love the fact that they say Range Rover right there on the hood. It looks really good. So that's the Blackout SC Range Rover. the Redcat Blackout SC Range Rover right there for you. I may get some shots of this outside and whatever, maybe in a nature situation. I'm gonna check these tires and see how my glue job was. I see some of the glue peeling off already. So I might have to redo that, but this thing does have speed. So these tires were just spinning and they would come off the rim. So I just temporarily glued them in. I do have another set of wheels coming. They're a little bit smaller and a little narrower, but I like this monster look, the lifted look on this. So, and just really quickly on the Volkswagen, let me grab that. I got this baby finished up. I finally went around the windows with the paint marker and did that black trim. So I think that came out really nice. The whole rear window is tinted, but because of the magnet placement and these wheels. I do have another set of wheels. I have these same wheels, but with the gold basket weave inserts. They came with road tires, and road tires are just not gonna work on this because it rubs. You can see with it up in the air, the suspension is extended, so when I sit it down, it's gonna lean in there, and it gives me the right amount of tuckage. In real life, those of you who ride these and who's built one knows that you have to either stretch the tires on the rim, or you have to get a stupid offset so the wheels are sitting really under, and then these fenders are hanging over to get the amount of tuckage that looks great. But then you got to drive it and you're bouncing all around everywhere. But with an RC car, you don't need to do that. I mean, it could rub all day. So what I did with the paint marker is I painted on top. So the black, because I painted it inside, was just rubbing off. It was, let's see. And then I also knocked off the muffler and got that back in there. So this is, I've taken this out a couple of times and it runs good. I haven't fixed up the grill yet with the red line, but I think the cracks, but I think I'm gonna just leave it like that. I mean, this thing, let's see, where's the power switch on this one? Okay, so I found the power switch. It has broken off of its mounting position on the speed controller. So I'm gonna rehome it, which is what I did on my BMW. But anyway, you can see with the banana connectors how old this thing is. You can see the difference in the color. This is the new battery, and this is the old banana connector. So you can tell the difference. I'm gonna just plug it in, and the body back on. Turn it on. Hopefully we get some power. Yep. And there it is. Volkswagen. This thing, I love this thing. But anyway, so that was a little update on my Volkswagen Golf GTI, and now the Blackout SC, which is now Range Rover, the Blackout Range Rover, or I'm gonna come up with a name for it, but the Redcat Racing Range Rover. That's the Carisma Range Rover. I think it spells out scale, so it's the SCA-1E, which spells out scale. So really nice truck. Body, the kit legit, and the Volkswagen body's great. I mean, each kit that I got came with something a little better than the last one. So the HPI body that I got for the E30 M3, I'll grab that right now. This one it came with a decent decal sheet, but it didn't come with the side mirrors, of course. It did come with a great wing with the gurney flap. The Volkswagen came with a grille that was separate, and it came with the side mirrors and door handles. And then the Range Rover came with the grille, the front bumper, the rear bumper, the wing mirrors, or side view mirrors. It came with actual wipers, and it came with light buckets on the inside and outside. So that was really nice. I mean, that kit is 100% legit. And so I look forward to getting these things out, running them. So that was a little update. Of course, as you guys know, I have those other two ones over there. That's the Redcat Piranha TR10. I'm screaming because I think you probably can't hear me with the phone that far away. And then also the Redcat Blackout short course with its new wheels and tires. So that's pretty much going to be a wrap for today's video. Of course, I had to wear my field watch today. This is the Seiko SRPG 39. This thing is gorgeous on a NATO strap. And everybody stay well, and I'll catch you on the next one.